Situation here is calm. It's been 10 years since the last war, and you can still see some of the remains of the last war. But well, about the people in here who live in here, they are very welcome us very well over here, and they seem to like our presence in here. So that was a bit of a surprise for me.
I think it's very different from my home country where I come from. It's probably like the land, the culture, and the acts of people. It's very different.
I suppose whenever I had done some reading on Lebanon before deployment, many of the articles I had read were from years gone by. So whenever I arrived, it was a surprise to see the level of development in terms of the infrastructure that has happened in recent years.
The region and the nature is really beautiful, and the local people's hospitality is actually quite amazing. In here I have experienced that kind of hospitality which I haven't ever experienced before, actually.
If you take the Lebanon in the context of the whole Middle East region, it is one of the few locations now that provide a safe and secure environment for the people of Lebanon. They now have a self-confidence to go about their daily business knowing they're safe.
I think the basic thing for us is to gather information. So we have to talk to people, and the challenge, I think, is to keep the conversation up, because you have to find a common topic to talk about.
Peacekeeping is, after all, it's a military-like job, and we are part of the armed forces, but I think the biggest difference between ordinary soldier and peacekeeper is that we are part of quite neutral and impartial organization, and that can be seen in our actions, our mandates, our rules of engagements.
Our mission here is to monitor our area of operations, and particularly the Blue Line, to assist the government of Lebanon in establishing its authority in the area, and to assist the local population. To do that, the peacekeeper needs not only the conventional warfighting skills that he will have learned in basic and advanced training, but also to deploy another range of skills. And quite often these would be based on perhaps emotional intelligence, be it their interactions with the local population, being able to read the signs and the mood of the local populace to determine what is really going on in the area.
Peacekeeping is very diplomatical. You have to communicate with people, speak to people, and it's very different from what I have done before. Less tactical.
When I think of a single peacekeeper, probably his toughest job is to concentrate on every mission like it's his first, and not let his concentration drop down.
At home we run around on the fields, but in here it's more of a thinking and communicating.
For a number of years we have been involved in aid to civil power and aid to civil authority. So our training trains us for the peacekeeping role.
Even though the public don't maybe have the clear vision about peacekeeping and what it's like to be in a peacekeeping mission, they still appreciate it.
Irish soldiers have been involved in peacekeeping since the late 50s. We have served in areas from the Congo, Sinai, Cyprus, Lebanon, Africa, Kosovo and Bosnia. The Irish people are fully aware of our role, and because we are a small army of 9,500, Most of our soldiers come from all communities of Ireland, and this has an impact on the families, and we are fully supported by the people of Ireland. And again, just to reiterate, one of our stated roles is to support the United Nations, and that shows how serious the Government of Ireland are in peacekeeping. Since 1978, we probably have provided to Lebanon alone over 50,000 tours of duties, and I think this is well appreciated in Ireland.
In Finland, in general, people don't know much about peacekeeping missions. They know that their troops are abroad over the seas, and but how is life? How do they do in their missions? They don't know much about it. But in general, I think the people in Finland and the society accepts and thinks we are doing a good job in here, and it's important that we are involved in peacekeeping operations.
I think that people at home aren't so aware of the job we do here, because the word peacekeeping can be took differently. Every people thinks like what they think.
I think in Ireland people perceive one of the primary roles of the Irish Defence Forces is peacekeeping on international missions. At the same time, the knowledge in the minds of the public as to what we do on a daily basis, whether it's here in Lebanon, in the Golan Heights, or out in the Mediterranean on humanitarian missions, I think that's pretty limited.
Back home, they don't know much about peacekeeping. I think they don't know at all about peacekeeping, and but you know, they have to realize it's not that much of a threat to your life.
Of course, a small country can make a difference because we are always here a part of a bigger operation, and we bring important pieces to the big puzzle here. The know-how and the knowledge, even only one person can bring over here. How to use generator can be like the most important thing for the whole small village over here.
I think that the small country makes a little bit difference, because it shows locals that many people care about.
A simple glance at the list of contributing nations will show you that many of the countries that have been involved in this particular operation were not particularly large and not particularly wealthy, and they've helped to bring some degree of peace and stability to this region for the last 30 years. So in answer to your question, yes, I think small countries, be it Ireland, Finland or Estonia, can make a big difference.
I think we cannot make a difference in this country or like overall in the big picture, but we can make a difference in the procedures of how they do the peacekeeping in Finn-Irish PET. So we have improved over time the standards of procedure, and this is how we can make a difference.
Depending from the operation, the amount of the peacekeepers can also be quite low. So because of that, I think the training and the skills of the individual peacekeeper matters quite much.
We have no colonial background. We can go into an area and we can be objective, and we can look at our mission and carry out our mission as to what is required. As I said, one only has to look at a small country with a small army of 9,500. We currently maintain over 500 troops between here and the Golan Heights, and we also have troops in most of the major United Nations countries at present.
Could I? Come on!